Hey everybody, one of Wiisdom here. This is going to be one of those awkward videos where I'm talking while slides are playing that I may not be referencing, but that's kind of all I can do given the constraints. This is a mobile game. I don't have any access to B-roll or anything, so I just kind of captured some screens. This, however, I'm basically just going to read the article I'm going to link because I think that's the best course of action for myself to take so I don't ramble too much. But this was it. 10 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Texas. The Animal Crossing Mobile Direct went down. And let me just get started on my article. So the big Animal Crossing Direct just wrapped up. Before anyone gets their hopes up about a new Leaf update for 3DS or a brand new installment to drop on the Switch, which will consume the life of many fans, Nintendo stuck to their guns and only spoke of their new mobile title. This slide behind us I want to reference. Note that this is on YouTube itself, and they have this game is New Leaf, which is pretty much the epitome of what's wrong with their AI bot. My Skylanders Imaginators video, which I titled Skylanders Imaginators Creating Bad Mr. Frosty, a Clay Fighter Tribute, they literally have the game identified as Clay Fighters 1993. That is their AI bot at work. You can read these slides and probably learn everything and more I'm going to tell you, but hey. Let's see here. They even had this swanky disclaimer in the moments before going live with the official presentation. That was our first slide, and it literally states they're only going to talk about the mobile game. So, zero surprises or allusions to a future console release, just mobile information. So what is the game called? Let's start with the basics. What is the new game? It is called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which, while it is pretty basic, actually fits quite well in my opinion. When can I play? The game is slated for release in late November, which I don't know why they can't provide an exact date, and it will drop on both Android and iOS devices. You can even sign up for notice as to when exactly it will release. In the article, I've got a link. There has been no mention as to if the game will be free to play or if it's going to cost $9.99, $4.99, $14.99, so on and so forth. I personally am inclined to think it's going to be free, as that will allow Nintendo to tap the mobile market for casual players who could eventually convert. Well, that was a bad thing that just happened. iPad fell on the router, and yeah, well, it's interesting. So that's no longer able to hold this tablet for me, so I'll just hold it in my hand awkwardly. But that could eventually convert casual fans into 3DS or Switch adoptees, if you will. Wait, it's mobile. Are there microtransactions? Do I hear Tom Nook laughing in the background? There is also a very real chance that Tom Nook is reading this and anxiously waiting to take our hard-earned cash. This game doesn't look to have a forced usage of real-world currency, but in addition to the bells we all know and love, the game utilizes Leaf tickets. Leaf tickets can be earned by doing in-game tasks, but they can also be purchased with real money. Want a pool for your campsite? You can pay to have it sooner. Need X amount of wood and Y amount of fabric for that dreamy new couch for your campsite? You can grind it out, or you can pay up to have instant gratification by way of Leaf tickets. So, what do you do in Pocket Camp? Well, to put it as simply as possible, you could imagine a hybrid between New Leaf and Happy Home Designer. The latest New Leaf update brought in the campers and the campsite. It's welcome amiibo if you were to pick it up on 3DS for the first time. And it would include some of the extremely difficult to find camper cards, sort of our follow-up to the Series 4 Animal Crossing cards. But let's see here. Pocket Camp plays that up and puts you in charge as the campsite manager. What you do and what you have on your campsite will influence which Anipals can and will stop by. I realize not everyone has played Happy Home Designer, but this concept is very similar in practice. All the charm and customization you know and love from recent installments looks to be in place as well. You create your character, you can change clothes, and much of the furniture looked familiar to me. You essentially look to have the task of gathering materials to build the furniture that attracts your favorite villagers. The auxiliary goal being to customize not only your campsite, but your personal camper. That's where I have the next heading, Pimp My Camper. Something brand new, that's probably demonetized by YouTube right there. Something brand new to Pocket Camp is the OK Motors crew, which in addition to being a hilarious name, it's a trio that will trick out your camper, which you can basically see as equivalent to your home in New Leaf. You can pick different designs, change the colors, and of course, expand with a loft, very similar to the Nook structure with your home. The entire progression to this point seems so linear to me now. It's almost as if Nintendo had this on the agenda when they released New Leaf, and we're just now able as plebeians to connect the dots. Gotta say, if that's the case, they did a very good job of that. Some of you might be wondering, why do I need a camper if I manage a campsite? So your campsite looks to be where your former villager friends will stop by, but you've got to have wheels to get around, man. Your camper, in addition to being something you can stylize for yourself, as opposed to, say, you're building a campsite because you want Rosie, or I want Kurt, Whitney, and Bettina, right? I would have to have the items that they really like and have friendship with them. But then in my camper, if I have a style totally juxtaposed to what Whitney likes, I can come in and do my own thing. So that's sort of where the 50-50 split is. You're building the campsite to attract who you want. You're modifying and customizing your camper to suit only you and maybe impress people online. But your camper isn't going to be what makes Kurt say, hey, I'm going to come check out your campsite, you know. Speaking of that, your camper will be used to hit up other destinations where you can basically forage, collect bugs, fish, collect minerals, you know the drill, which include an island, a beach, a forest, and a river. Friendship points is new. You know how Stardew Valley gives you a heart level where the residents of Pelican Town? Well, previous Animal Crossing games just kind of knew you were best buds with other villagers based on how they speak to you, act around you, what they gift you, and of course the letters they send. Pocket Camp has hit what is sure to be a home run with players by adding friendship points. It works just like you think it would, and I can foresee it being very much at the heart of the impending addiction. So, you still want to know more? I haven't provided you enough information. Well, if you've been reading the slides, you probably learned quite a bit. But I could talk for hours, but all I know is what was in the Animal Crossing Direct and on the official site, which I have linked in the article. Also on the official site was those first series of snippets that I had for you, so keep that in mind. I will say a throw net and a honey pot have been added. These are wicked cool. The throw net basically catches like 6 or 8 fish at once. I didn't count exactly. And the honey pot you can basically dump into a hollow stump, and it allows you to what looks to be a very, very simple way of catching bugs. Personally, I would have loved both of these things in New Leaf. I've got pictures of them in the article. And now my first impressions. I saw a lot of people voicing the same thing in comments and on Twitter. Basically, this looks too good to be a mobile game. I am right there with them. In fact, I said it before I realized everyone else was thinking the same thing. This looks every bit as polished as New Leaf or a Happy Home Designer. The charm, the simplicity, the cuteness, or whatever intangible you would call it, it is all there. This looks more like a well-polished staple release than a quote-unquote mere mobile game. I think most people in this audience, I'm checking the slides here real quick. That's the OK Motors crew. It's pretty sweet. I think most people in the audience are like myself. In addition to being mildly obsessive with Animal Crossing, we also share a very common sentiment that mobile games just kind of suck. That's something I very, very passionately believe. My experience is they're always overhyped, fall short of expectations, are buggy, way too grindy if you don't want to shell out cash. A few pennies at a time that ultimately turns into like 2 to 3 times what the cost of a $60 retail game would have run. And ultimately they get abandoned and you can't even play them anymore. See also this iPad in my hand that was purchased strictly to play a Skylanders game, which I can't play. Fantastic. If you ever wondered why I have an iPad when I don't like Apple, there's your answer. Pocket Camp looks like the complete opposite. The iPad's been okay, but I'm definitely an Android person. I have to say my biggest complaint is that this is not on the Switch. I've said it since we knew what the Switch even was when they changed it from the NX and revealed it. Animal Crossing is going to be huge on the Switch, provided they release it on the Switch. I hope this is a short-term filler for a proper follow-up to New Leaf. I would even play this Animal Crossing Pocket Camp on the frickin' 3DS, man. Over a mobile phone if given the choice. I'm just not big on using a phone to game on, right? So my slides are running out, my outro music's running, I don't know. I'll try to block the mic, so I'll just have to extend slides, it looks like. The bottom line, regardless of anything, if this was intended for PC, the Switch, the 3DS, the Wii U, the SNES Classic, or mobile, it looks really good and it looks really fun. I wouldn't say I'm cheap, but I am thrifty. I have zero plans and zero intentions to shell out for Leaf tickets. I'd much rather keep my $7 and wait for Cyrus to have 3 days to finish the pool. I mean, let's face it, that's about 90 days quicker than in the real world anyway. I use that as an example. It was an amenity to the campsite, presumably to attract others. It looked like Goldie was a big fan. She was splashing her hind legs in it. But basically, you pay for the pool. Cyrus needs 72 hours, which is 3 days to complete it. You can either wait or you can pay up and use Leaf tickets and expedite the process. So the thing is, again, you can earn Leaf tickets, I think, in-game, but it's probably going to be a deal where you'd always need to pair them with real-world money to have the adequate number to pull off what you want, unless you just stockpile them for an eternity type of a deal. So there will be people that are coming in trying to make videos, and they'll probably spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to basically max out their campsite before anyone else. But at the end of the day, they blew a lot of money. And they're probably not going to get that back in ad revenue. So me personally, I just plan to enjoy it and grind it out the old-fashioned way. Moving on, Pocket Camp should be a nice medium to pull in more casual fans to the Animal Crossing umbrella, and in my opinion, that camp has a better chance of being retained due to just how low-key of a demand the game has. What I'm essentially saying is if people that came to Pokemon Go, right, casual players that haven't played Pokemon, people that try Mario Run, that haven't played a Mario game before, haven't played it in years, Fire Emblem in particular, how many people that pick that up that aren't already committed to the Fire Emblem franchise are going to go out and pick up a 3DS to play a new Fire Emblem game? I don't think very many, right? You either already have that stuff and this is an auxiliary addition to you, or you're just kind of the casual person that's like, yay, Pokemon Go, look how trendy we are, Melissa. And then you're done within a week or two. That's how, same thing with Super Mario Run. It's like, oh, I'm waiting at the dentist and they're going to run late, so I guess I'll play that game, right? With Animal Crossing, I feel like they're going to get that same... Everyone seems to pursue this casual gamer audience, which is like it's a big initial hit, but then they're not repeat customers, they're not going to come back, they're not diehards for the franchise. It's kind of like a fictitious deal. It's sort of like the Fountain of Youth. I feel like developers are just always in pursuit of this audience that exists, but they're never going to materialize, and they won't accept that fact, The thing with Animal Crossing is, though, where people that were like, yay, Pokemon Go, they're not going to go buy, Pokemon Black and White or Sun, Moon. They're done, right? You're either hardcore Pokemon and you already have those or plan to get them, or you're just a casual person that's trying to be trendy with what's popular at the time, is my personal opinion that I still very adamantly stand behind. Super Mario Run, how many of those people are going to go shell out and get a Switch so they can play Odyssey? How many of them are going to go get an SNES Mini so they can relive Super Mario World? I don't think very many of them. I think they did Super Mario Run and that's that. With Animal Crossing, I think there's a way better chance. I still don't think it's a great audience retention, but I think it's way better than like a hardcore franchise of attracting players to the platform. Like if they release, let's just call it New Leaf 2, okay, on the Nintendo Switch, I feel like there's more people that would be like, man, I really love this Pocket Camp game. What? There's going to be, they sent out a notification, they're going to put a game on Switch? I'd really like to try that out. I feel like Animal Crossing, out of all the franchises, is low-key enough, it's casual enough, it's simple enough, and it's got the right amount of addiction that I feel like a casual person could be looped into the, cesspool of fans, if you will, right? More so, like I said, than the other franchises. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right in that regard. And again, I'm not a fan of mobile games, man. They never materialize like you want them to. Let's see. You'll never fear pressure. You feel calm and relaxed when you play, and millions of people get addicted to games where you pop puzzles or wacky ripoffs of Tetris, I have no doubt that some of those same people will get drawn in by the cute and unsuspecting aura that is the vortex of Animal Crossing. Now, this is something I brought up and it blew my Twitter up quite literally. I instantly responded to a tweet by Isabel, and it was about Amiibo and Animal Crossing Amiibo card support. If you recall, in addition to having the complete set of Animal Crossing Amiibo, which are now dirt cheap if you want them, the Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, I invested a lot of money in those. New Leaf consumed much of... Basically, Stardew Valley saved me from Animal Crossing New Leaf. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I was investing heavily in those cards, and it was to a point where I would never get what I need. It was always duplicates. I finally had to just stop. They were too expensive. They still exist at like Toys R Us for $6 a pack, which is like $1 a card. If you don't have anyone to trade with locally, or if you don't know, like have a really good friend across the country that, you know, will mail you the cards and stuff, don't even go that route, man. It is insane. The people sell individual cards on eBay and Amazon for like ridiculous amounts of money. I'm talking like $10. But if you have like a favorite villager, it would be an okay thing to do, in my opinion, just because the likelihood of you getting the card is so low. You would spend more on the packs to attempt to get that character. But where I'm going with this is I've invested a ton in those little things, and what they did in New Leaf, they would bring the character to the campsite instantly. They would bring the character right into the game for you. If you haven't played in a long time and your favorite villager was Kurt and he moved away, if you've got Kurt's cards, you could scan him into the game either with an NFC reader or on a new 3DS type of a thing on the touchscreen, and Kurt's going to come in and camp at your site and you can try to convince him to move back in, right? I would love to see that in Pocket Camp. It makes a ton of sense to do that. That's what the whole game seems to revolve around, is you building a campsite with the amenities and the furniture to attract the villagers that you want to be there. And if you've invested in the cards and the Amiibo, it seems to me like the Amiibo, I think, would just be like an unlock deal, or maybe give you bells every day or every week or something, similar to what they do with like Breath of the Wild. But the cards, I believe, should bring the villagers in. And this would allow Nintendo to re-release the cards and possibly lower the price and sell a bunch of them. And that would just be fantastic. But I will tell you, the reason that my Twitter blew up is because everyone agrees with that concept. I assume there's people just like me that sunk a lot of time and a lot of money into an Animal Crossing card collection. And they're sitting here watching the Pocket Camp reveal trailer and they're like, oh my gosh, my cards, you know. And if they don't work, I feel like people have every right to be pissed off about it. It just makes too much sense not to. There would have to be some workaround. I think somebody said, oh, you know, not everyone's phones have NFC. Most of them do. But that same person that said not all phones have NFC reading abilities literally replied to their own comment to my tweet that said, but I'd go get a phone that could scan it just to do that. So the support from the user base, the hardcore user base, the user base that will be there not only for Pocket Camp or the next trendy app, but will be there for the next installment on Switch or 3DS, all of the Amiibo Festival party games, all of the Happy Home Designer spin-offs, all that stuff, we will be there. I think that would be something that would be well advised for Nintendo to pursue. Like I said here, I was personally hoping to see a tie-in with the Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, but who knows, maybe they're going to save that for a later announcement or even an update to the game. The latest iteration was extremely limited and focused on the campers. It just makes too much sense to not pair the cards and Amiibo with this release. I responded to Isabel on Twitter with as much, and the response was very emphatic that my sentiments were not alone. I wanted to take the time to write this out. I'll be voicing it pretty much verbatim in a video, which is what we're doing right now, but I still prefer old-fashioned articles. The game looks fantastic. Too good to be mobile and too good not to be on Switch. That's really my biggest complaint. I want to see the cards function just because I've sunk a ton of time and money into that. But it looks like it should be on the Switch. I realize, you know, all the in-game screenshots we saw were on a phone, but it looks, Basically, this goes back to mobile games typically look like trash, okay? And this does not. This looks like something that Nintendo would release on the Switch or the 3DS. And that is pretty cool. So, I guess I'll just hold out hope it's only a taste of what is to come with a hopeful Switch release of a follow-up to New Leaf. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll hopefully catch you around my campsite and get kudos, which seems to be a new thing as well. Just like in New Leaf and the previous games I've played, time passes in real time. So it's just turned midnight here. It would be midnight in my town in New Leaf. It would be midnight in City Folk. And at my campsite, it would also be midnight. Right? So some villagers like Bettina would already be asleep. Kurt would just be roaming around because he slept in all day because he's cool and grumpy. So you're going to have that same thing. I assume it looks like the classical ways of making money. Catching bugs, fishing, getting gemstones, if you will. Looks like all of that is in place. I think you can use the in-game leaf tickets to travel, maybe to like a special quarry, maybe the beach. All the sort of things that you would sort of expect from what you've seen. But I've got to say, it looks pretty dadgum good. I'm pretty excited about it. The only real investment I have ever made into a mobile game, on my phone anyway, has been Battlecast. That's completely gone now, and it wasn't supported properly in my opinion. They had such a chance to do something amazing there, and they just didn't do it. They could have bought promotion rights on Twitch. I mean, Hearthstone, it's not much different than Hearthstone. It's just with established characters already. I think I'm not saying it would have been that big, but I'm saying I expected Battlecast to last a long time and to get fairly frequent updates, even like every 3 months type of a deal. Just unleash some new characters, unleash some new cards. It had such a high ceiling of potential, and I feel like it just barely got off the floor, you know. So that, and then of course the creator app. You know, you can't even use that anymore. All the Lost Island stuff. Like I said, I bought this iPad so I could play the iOS starter pack Battlegrounds with Royal Double Trouble. I can't even do that because of updates either to Apple's side of the equation or to other people. I don't know. It's just a mess and it sucks. And that's why I don't like mobile games. If I wanted to go plug in my Sega Genesis right now and play Clay Fighter, Vectorman, and Earthworm Jim, I can do it. If I want to switch to the Wii and play Wii Fit or Skylander Spyro's Adventure, I can do it. If I want to switch to the Switch and play NBA Playgrounds, I can do it. If I want to play Stardew Valley on the PC, I can do it. Commander Keen from way back in the day, I can play it. Stuff that I bought just a couple years ago on a high-tech mobile type of a platform, you can't play that anymore. You know, you just like throw your money away on it and then it's gone. You can't even enjoy it. And that's why I don't like mobile games. But like I said, this looks better. This looks too good, too promising to be just a mobile game. So I think that sort of echoes the sentiments of the vast majority of veteran Animal Crossing people that probably watch this direct. Keep in mind it was a normal time in Japan. 8 p.m., you know, so most people are probably doing something else on the West Coast. Here in Texas, it was 10. East Coast, it's 11, and there were an awful lot of people in America up watching this thing. So amongst that audience, I think I've captured the sentiments very well. It looks too good. We wish it was on Switch. We really, really hope that this doesn't delay progress on a standalone follow-up to New Leaf on the Switch. I think that's what most of us would really like. And then, of course, we would all like to see Amiibo support and Animal Crossing Amiibo card functionality in this app. So, that said, I will leave it at that. You can probably find a little bit more information. Nintendo might release things as we go. Interestingly enough, they sometimes just retweet Isabelle, but you need to follow Isabelle on Twitter, which is kind of awkward. But, you know, I'll have it all in the article. You can click all the links. The site looks fantastic. You can sign up to be notified. I think you can do it through the App Store, Google Play, your Nintendo Network thing, whatever. There's like 3 different options for it. But let me know your thoughts. Are you excited? Is this something you're going to try? I know a lot of people, even Nintendo people, you know, there's a lot of like Super Mario fanatics. There's a lot of Zelda fanatics. There's the Smash community. Animal Crossing is kind of on the fringe. It's something not everyone has tried yet, even if you consider yourself a Nintendo person. Will this be something that you will try to test the waters, to be like, hey, you know, I wish I'd have played this a long time ago. This is pretty dadgum cool. Is it something you're going to stay away from? Do you have the same stigma with mobile games as myself? Whatever you want to talk about, feel free to leave it down below. Somewhere in that video, there was a slide, and it showed the prices. I went back through. I don't know if they have removed it. I can't find it. If I watched the whole thing, I could probably do it. I was just trying to skip around. I never could find it. But I swear I saw it. It listed like X number of Leaf tickets and a price. I think the first one was like 99 cents. I think there was something that was like $7.99. I have no plans to spend real money on this game. And I wish I knew if the game was free. I think it will be, but don't hold me to that. But anyway, whatever you want to talk about, feel free. Side note, I was at Toys R Us, ran my errands earlier tonight after work. Picked up some Skylander stuff. We'll be unboxing soon, checking it out in-game. I saw One Nightlight, One Nightmare. Both were $6.98. The Skylander section, since I've been in there, they have moved it again. It is now, there's an end cap, and there's a really, really, really small section. The Lego Dimensions stuff, that was announced, the end of that earlier this week. It has all been moved as well. Where the Toys to Life stuff was at my local store, it is all Funko Pop. That's something I've never been into. I don't care to get into. A lot of the people I follow on Twitter are apparently like huge Funko collectors. I don't have the space. I don't have the money. And that's why I sort of stuck to Skylanders, right? I had Disney Infinity wanting to fly me out to California and crud. But there wasn't anything there I was legitimately interested in, right? You know, like if Quasi at Shotgun Farm was like, dude, I need you to play my game at TwitchCon, I'd have been there. I mean, I'm super into Shotgun Farmers. If Nintendo ever said, like, hey, you know, you're the only person that plays Wii Fit, you know, we need you to do soccer hitting. It's like, sign me up, man. But you've got Disney Infinity, and they're like, hey, we want you to cover our stuff. And it's like, yeah, no. It's like, I had no passion for that. You know, it wasn't anything I was interested in. They obviously were willing to send you free products and whatever you need to get going, and it's just I don't have any interest in it, you know. Lego Dimension, I like Lego. It's super expensive. That's been the thing with Lego. It's very expensive, regardless of if it's a video game or if it's like a Lego set. I love it, but I never got into it, and you know, it is what it is, but I would much rather play Lego Dimensions before Disney Infinity. I would have zero interest ever in playing Disney Infinity. That's just me. And like I said, a lot of people try to bandwagon things. I just stick to my guns. And that's why I'm a grown man that makes videos about Animal Crossing, because it's freaking awesome, and I don't care what anyone thinks about me. So, on that note, let me know your thoughts. I'm going to wrap this up, get it uploaded. Trying to get back to 2 videos a day here, even though YouTube's a hot mess of nothing. I've got a lot I want to do around Halloween. 6 days away now that it's after midnight until Halloween. Shame on Target. They had taken away like 90% of the costumes, and they're getting ready for Christmas, and it's like, give us these 7 days, man, you know? I mean, I love Christmas, but it has not been Halloween. If this was the day after Halloween, I would totally support that decision. It's a week away. Do you know how many people have not bought costumes for Halloween? Virtually everyone that plans to get one waits until the last minute. That's what people do. But, hey, what can you do? Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It looks pretty sweet. I might have to play it, provided it's free. If it's like $20, I think I'm going to walk and just stick with New Leaf and Stardew Valley. It looks pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on the Amiibo functionality and the Animal Crossing card compatibility. But, whatever you want to talk about, feel free to throw it down below. Like I said, more Skylanders unboxings coming your direction. And until next time, I'll catch you back here for more action from my desk, which required no wood and no fabric and no trades with villagers to create. So I'll catch you back here later. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. Adios.